I have some apologies to make this morning. I'm late. I thought I was being very smart, and I did a recording. What I did was a recording and not a live broadcast, so I'm late. Also, I should have put up this morning another story from Father Pat Austin, and I didn't get around to doing that yesterday, so I'm missing out on many counts. But we'll have Father Pat up again next week. He's recorded some stories for us. In line with his stories of the Northern Territory, I'll tell you another story this morning. So this is Mission Alive. I'm Roger from the MSC Mission Office. Pat was telling stories about Bathurst and Melville Island and other places in the Northern Territory when he was there. One of the priests we used to have up in the Northern Territory was Father John Leary. I don't know whether any of you might know him. He was a marvellous missionary up there and a great man with the Aborigines. He knew the Aboriginal culture and languages, some languages, and in one sense he knew them inside out. Anyway, the story goes like this, and I think it was John that told me that one day he was out of Bathurst Island, he was posted there, and he gets a phone call from the government in Darwin, and the government says, out off the coast of Melville Island, there's a Japanese ship there, and they have a dead crew member, and they want permission to bury him on land. So can you go out and supervise it? So John said, sure, I can do that. The government man said, make sure they bury him and not cremate him. So John goes out and he took with him an Aboriginal guy who was sort of his offsider and general handyman and whatnot around the place. And Father Pat told me his name was Barney. So out they go, and they find the boat. The Japanese come ashore, and they demonstrate very clearly, dig, bury him in the ground. Japanese are saying, oh, yes. And they went into the bush and then coming back with armloads of firewood. So repeat again, dig in the ground, yes. So in that area, there used to be a lot of Malay fishermen would come down into that area, going way back into history. And so Father John said to Barney, you speak Malay, talk to them in Malay, see if any of them speak Malay, and communicate to them that they must bury the body. So Barney did that, all went well, so they buried the body. On the way back to the mission station, Barney says, those silly Japanese people, why are they speaking Malay? And John said, well, you speak Malay and we have to communicate. And one of them spoke Malay, so all's well. He says, yes, but he said, I speak Japanese too. And John didn't know that about his friend, because the Japanese used to come down also and do fishing and stuff down there. For the, I've forgotten the name of it, the sea cucumber. And it turns out then, Barney says, he spent the war, he was recruited by the Australian Army, and when the Japanese were going up through Indonesia and places like that, they would pick up Barney, and in a submarine they would put him ashore, and he would spend weeks going through the bush. Because Aborigines, very good bush people. They're very black, can't be seen in the dark. And so he could almost virtually be sitting next to a Japanese guy in the bush, and the Japanese guy wouldn't know. So Barney was listening to all the conversation, and then they'd pick him up again, and he would debrief the army on what he'd heard and what he'd learned. And that was the way he spent the war. So these are things often we don't know about people, what their history is, what they can do, what their talents are. And it's part of what we do to be a real missionary and to be a missionary church, is to really get to know people, listen to people, ask their story, find out about their story. And that's something we probably could do a bit during our COVID lockdowns, those that we can contact, talk to them more, listen to them more. We're not so much in a hurry. We can spend time with each other and listen to each other, hear the stories, find out things about people. thank you for being with us on the mission that we are all about.